Hello everyone, this is part 2 of Recreating the Cat with Red Fishes by Henri Matisse. On the bottom I listed that it is optional to use pastels or colored pencils. You can use either or. First you're going to start off with the blue oil pastel or colored pencil, whatever you choose, and you're going to create the sky. You're going to color in the sky with the blue pastel. You're going to use the smudge technique as always. So you're just going to do a couple of lines and then smudge it. When using oil pastels, it is so important to always take your time and be patient. When you are patient, your results will definitely show. For the next step, you'll be using the dark orange pastel along with the peach pastel. You're going to outline the bottom mountain just so you know where to stop coloring with the pastel, and then you're going to fill in a couple of areas with that peach color. You're then going to incorporate that orange with it and blend together. This will help make a blended color of the orange and the peach. An important note to know when you're working with oil pastels is to always either wash your hands or use a wipe to clean your hands before smudging a new color. As you can see, I just used designated fingers, and when I filled my fingers up, I just cleaned them off by washing them with soap. Also, feel free to stop and pause the video in between. That way if you get tired of smudging, you can take a little break and then come back whenever you're ready. As you can see, the tree branches are getting covered up by the oil pastels. Don't worry, we're going to go back and we're going to add those tree branches again. Moving on to the next step, you're going to use your dark green oil pastel and color in the grass. You're still going to use the smudge technique. Remember to always wash your hands before smudging a new color. This may be harder for you younger kids, but it is okay because this is going to help work on your fine motor skills. So it's going to help strengthen up those muscles in your fingers. After filling in your green for the grass, you're going to grab your black oil pastel and you're going to retrace over where you did your tree. And don't forget to split it into the Y. For the next steps, when it comes to outlining areas, it is optional to use your black oil pastel or your black colored pencil, whatever you prefer, to outline the areas that we will be using throughout this project. When working with oil pastels, I always like to start on the upper top and then start to work my way down towards the bottom. Now you're going to be using your white oil pastel to go in and add dots. You're going to eventually keep adding more white dots to make the tree look more fuller. You're going to do this in 2 areas. Just watch. If you notice your oil pastel starting to pick up other colors, go ahead and wipe that off either with a napkin or with a wipe. Next step, you're going to grab your yellow oil pastel and begin to shade in the areas around your window. This part you don't have to smudge, you'll just be coloring it in. For your next step, you're going to grab that black colored pencil. I swapped out of using the black oil pastel just because the black colored pencil will help me get into smaller areas. And you're just going to outline the borders of your window. As you can see, for this step, it probably would have been more smart to use a ruler to help the edges be more straight. Also, while outlining the window, I made a little tiny error, but it's okay because whenever I make mistakes, I like to go with it. So instead, I just added a detailed border around the window. For the the next part, you're going to start to color in the shutters. The shutters will be brown, but the middle of the shutters will be orange. You will just be coloring this in and you will not be using the smudge technique. Next, you're going to grab that black colored pencil again, and then you're going to outline the shutters. Moving on to the next step, you're going to use the smudge technique to color in that back wall. You will be using the color red, and it is helpful to outline the cat in red just because it helps avoid any confusion. This will let you know what area needs to be shaded red. Also remember to clean your hands before using a brand new color to smudge. After smudging and filling in that back wall with the color red, you're going to add detail to your wall. You can use this same pattern that I use, or you can create a brand new pattern of your own. But for the pattern, I used the color dark blue and I added in white. I created this pattern just because I wanted an odd shape for that background on my wall. Moving on to the next step, you're going to color in your cat yellow. You're just going to color in the cat. You will not be smudging anything within the cat. You'll notice that I point out certain areas within the cat and the fishbowl just because these areas need to be erased. After you erase those areas, you're going to color in your cat with the yellow pastel. You're going to then use your black colored pencil to outline the cat. For this next part, I added a bit of light green to add dimension to my cat. I just did this on his right side. This project is going to take some time, so please feel free to pause and rewind.